Hello, and welcome back to the Chartered Accountants Global Update. I'm glad you're with us for episode 31. We've got 3 things for you today that, on the surface, might seem different. But they're all really about one thing: how we set ourselves up to thrive, whether that's in our careers or in our day-to-day well-being. We'll start with an inspiring story from the Young Difference Makers series. Jaspreet Rayat, who took a road less traveled when she chose an apprenticeship over university and hasn't looked back since. Then we'll look at something that affects a lot of us this time of year, the winter blues, and what the science says about how to manage them. And we'll round things off with a quick but genuinely useful look at the happy hormones, what they are, and what we can do every day to give them a boost. Let's get into it. So, Jaspreet Rayat, she's a chartered accountant, and she got there via a path that not enough people know is even available to them: an apprenticeship. Her starting point was a question a lot of us have asked: how do businesses actually work? And why does finance seem to hold everything together? That curiosity led her not to a university campus, but to an apprenticeship route with ICAEW, where she was earning, learning, and gaining real-world experience, all at the same time. Now, that might sound straightforward, but it wasn't without its challenges. Jaspreet grew up without accountants in her immediate circle. There was no ready-made roadmap, no family member who could say, "This is how you get into the profession." She had to do the research herself, reach out to people, and piece it together. And that experience now drives a real sense of mission for her: to make those routes more visible, to explain what an apprenticeship actually involves, to demystify the interview process, and to show what progression looks like when you haven't come through the traditional degree route. One thing that struck me from her story: she attended One Young World in Munich and came away with a line from Bob Geldof that's really stuck with me. Grit makes the pearl. It's a simple idea, but it captures something real. The conditions don't have to be ideal. What matters is the effort you put in. Her practical advice is worth repeating: start before you feel ready. Ask your network for small, specific help. Look for apprenticeships tied to recognized professional bodies. And treat action as the thing that builds confidence, not the other way around. If you're weighing up your options, or if you know someone who is, Jaspreet's story is a grounded, honest blueprint. The full piece is on the Chartered Accountants Worldwide website. I'd really encourage you to read it. Right, let's talk about something that's relevant for many of us at this time of year: the winter blues. This isn't just about feeling a bit gloomy when it's grey outside, though that's real too. We're talking about something that has a name: seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. It's a form of depression that follows a seasonal pattern. The HSE estimates around 7% of the population experiences it, so if you've felt it, you're far from alone. What causes it? Honestly, it's not entirely clear-cut. The leading theory is that reduced daylight hours deplete serotonin, the brain chemical closely linked to mood, while also affecting melatonin production and disrupting our internal body clock. For more severe cases, GPs may recommend antidepressants or talking therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy. But for a lot of people dealing with the milder low-grade version, the winter slump, there are some practical things that really do help. Light therapy is one of the better evidenced approaches, using a light box in the morning to replicate daylight. Getting outside during daylight hours, even briefly, can make a difference. Regular exercise, maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, keeping connected with people, all of these have a real impact. And it's worth being honest with yourself about how you're feeling, rather than just pushing through. And that brings us neatly to our third topic, which builds on the well-being theme. And it's about the chemistry behind how we feel. Specifically, the 4 so-called happy hormones: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. You've probably heard these terms, but it's worth understanding what each one actually does, and more importantly, what we can do to support them. Serotonin is the mood stabilizer. When it's balanced, we feel calmer, more emotionally steady. And here's a simple one. Just 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight exposure can stimulate its production. Exercise helps too. This connects directly to what we said about SAD. It's not coincidence. Dopamine is the motivation and reward chemical. It's what drives us to achieve and what gives us that sense of satisfaction when we do. Breaking goals into smaller steps and celebrating small wins, that's not just positive thinking, it's literally how you keep your dopamine working for you. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding hormone. It's released through social connection, acts of kindness, even physical contact like a handshake or a hug. In a professional context, this is a reminder of why relationships matter, not just strategically, but biologically. And endorphins, the ones released through exercise, laughter, even certain foods. They're the body's natural stress relievers. The point isn't to turn this into a biochemistry lesson. It's to recognize that there are small concrete things we can do each day that have a measurable effect on how we feel. It doesn't require a big lifestyle overhaul. It's about building small habits that compound over time. So, 3 very different topics this week, but I think they point in the same direction. Whether it's how you build a career, how you look after yourself through the darker months, or how you understand the science of your own well-being. The common thread is that small, deliberate choices add up. All 3 articles are available in full on the Chartered Accountants Worldwide website, and we'll put the links in the show notes. Thanks for listening to episode 31 of the Chartered Accountants Global Update. If you found this useful, please share it with a colleague or leave us a review. It really does make a difference. We'll be back with more very soon. Take care of yourselves.